All right, all right. Testing, testing, testing. I am live. Hello, all. Welcome to Automation Mondays. Today is May 14th. And over the weekend, something interesting has come out. And that something interesting has caught the attention of a number of people and has YouTube blowing up and talking about it. That something is Google's I/O conference. Google's I/O conference was recently, and Google has released a very impressive piece of technology, piece of AI, artificial intelligence, called Google Duplex. I will leave a link in the description of where you can go on YouTube to look at the keynote of this Google Duplex. But to wrap up, let's do this here. To wrap up what happened at this keynote, it was impressive. That's an understatement, to tell you the truth. It was very impressive. During the keynote, still trying to put this in here. Link in the description so when people come in, they can click on it. Google's I/O Duplex AI. Okay. All right. At the keynote, what happened was I didn't see the entire keynote. I saw the part of the video. A number of people saw. What basically happened, to sum up what I saw, was the assistant, the personal assistant, Google's personal assistant is now more advanced, even more advanced than some of our precious Siri. Oh my goodness, it puts Siri to shame. During the keynote, it made 2 phone calls. Well, they played 2 recorded phone calls. Now, mind you, Google could have cherry picked these 2 phone calls out of many. I forgot the gentleman's name, but he did say there were some calls that did not go as planned. So he did let us know that. But one phone call was to the personal assistant calling a hair salon and booking a hair salon. And the flow of the conversation, the recognized nuances, the technology recognizing the context of the conversation, the little filler words. It said, the little things the little details that you may not think about in your everyday speech. It did that. It was amazing, in my opinion. The second phone call it made was to book a reservation to a restaurant, and that went the same way. The little nuances, the little attention to the conversation, speech, knowing how to answer follow-up questions, knowing how to answer questions that you would think it would stumble on, or you would think it would repeat itself to make it sound like, okay, I'm speaking to a machine. That that didn't exist. And this technology is very impressive. Oh, okay. We have our other host, Mike. How you doing today?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
I'm well. I'm well. I'm well. Undoubtedly, you've seen what transpired at Google's I/O.
Indeed.
It to me it was very impressive, extremely impressive. I got the article up from Mashable. I'm just going to read that to share my screen. Then we can dive into it. Let me do this real quick. All right. This is an article from Mashable. Google Assistant is straight up crushing Siri. Siri has come. Siri has some catching up to do. As the day one Google I/O keynote came to a close Tuesday in Mountain View, California, it was clear that the tech giant had left the right impression on the developers in attendance, specifically one of awe. Of particular note was the wide range of tasks handled by Google Assistant, tasks that at present Apple Siri could only dream of. Could Siri dream? Could Siri dream? Want Google Assistant to make a phone call for you? Perhaps to book an appointment by having an actual conversation with a real human? No problem. That feature was demoed today and will be available to users as an experiment in the coming weeks. That's what I like. They demo it, you don't have to wait a year to get it. And that's not the only assistant related news that Google announced today. Thanks to our progress in language understanding, you'll soon be able to have a natural back and forth conversation with a Google Assistant without repeating, "Hey Google," for each follow up request, explains a Google press release. That's impressive. And it's not like this one, excuse me, and it's not like this some Google black magic. Amazon made a similar functionality possible with Alexa. Importantly, Apple announced a limited version of this last year at last year's Worldwide Developers Conference. But that's cold comfort when that's cold comfort when Siri still struggles to understand many questions in the first place. Oh yeah, and 6 new voice commands are coming, but wait, there's more. I like that. That's what Apple normally do at their keynotes. Google Assistant will also soon help you navigate within Google Maps, so you can get information while keeping your hands on the wheel and your eyes on the road. And on mobile, we'll give you a quick snapshot of your day with suggestions based on location, time of day, and recent interactions. These are all real world applications that people might actually use, and they put Siri to shame. I mean, can you imagine Siri making an entire phone call for you? Like, not just dialing a number, but calling a human and having a full conversation with them. No, of course you can't. Because the most part because for the most part, Siri, I'll skip ahead a little bit, is useless junk. Sure, Siri is good at super simple stuff like setting your alarm or unexpectedly dropping profanity, but a punctual foul mouth isn't going to revolutionize smart assistants. Google Assistant, on the other hand, is on its way to doing just that. Maybe that's why Apple hired John Gianandrea, Google's top AI exec, earlier this spring. That's a very good move. Either way, Siri continues to lag behind Google Assistant, and today's keynote emphasized just how wide the gulf between the two assistants really is. The ball is in Siri's court. Now we just have to wait and see if we can figure out what to do with it. All right, and that was the little article they did on Mashable did on the keynote. Any comments?
I think Google has a head start over the competition such as Apple and Amazon. I knew these features were going to come. It was just a matter of when. And you don't have to wait for your these aren't hardware features. These are actually software implemented features. So it's not like, oh, you have to buy a special phone and get these features, or you have to buy a special laptop or any hardware to that effect. All these features are going to come down the pike regardless of what hardware you have. So my phone has got a few updates the last few hours or so. So I haven't used any of the features yet, but definitely looking forward to.
Now, were you impressed at all at the seamless flow of? And I already said they could have cherry picked the best out of the lot, but even the best, were you impressed at all at how seamless and smooth it was?
Well, they can do anything in a demo, right? But when you start to use it for yourself personally, then you start to see all the bugs. That's how I see Google. That's my experience with Google's products.
Okay. All right. They also said Amazon released something similar with Alexa. Have you had any experience with Amazon's Alexa?
I actually just set up one this weekend for my mother. I bought her a Alexa, the Echo Spot for Mother's Day. So it's pretty interesting.
Real, really? How so?
It does a lot of things seamlessly without me, without very much configuration. So I think it took maybe 5 minutes to set it up. I just had to register her email and whatnot. But in terms of the communications aspect, learning aspect of it, it seems to be very efficient.
Okay. Now Alexa has more. I'm trying to say, the Philips balls that change colors.
I actually bought those. Yeah,
those can be hooked up to Alexa, right?
It can be hooked up to any platform. So it could be hooked up to Google. It could be hooked up to Siri as well.
All right. Now Apple released their version of this home assistant. I forgot what it's called, but Apple in the past, this has worked for Apple. It'll wait till the competition bring out theirs. It'll be buggy, and they'll sit back to perfect it, and then it'll come out with this keynote, and the charisma of first Steve Jobs and Tim Cook would sell it on a level where one would think, oh, okay, I have to have this. This is the best there is. This is the only version. Now the competition is catching up with them, whereas when they sit back and let the competition come out with a technology first, the competition is coming out and the technology is very advanced. So now they're putting themselves behind the 8 ball, I believe.
The problem is Apple is a hardware company first before they're anything else, and Google is a software company first. So Google has the upper hand in terms of how they approach innovation, whereas Apple's success comes from their hardware, whether it's the Mac, the Power Mac, the iMac, the iPod, the iPhone, and then the Apple Watch. So their entire success is always driven by hardware, and if they're waiting to do any of these updates or any of these features, it's going to be tied in with the hardware somewhere down the line. Whereas Google doesn't have to wait. Their stuff is cloud driven. So
okay. Now I assume you're a Google person opposed to an Apple person, or you don't really care.
I'm pretty agnostic in terms of platforms. I don't really have a favor, but I do have my my business integration into Google's platform. So in AWS as well, which is Amazon. So for me, it's not really so much about branding; it's more about functionality.
And with me, I like Apple iPhone because of the simplicity of it. I had a Google phone before, but to me, it was too programmable. It was when Google first, the Android first came out, the one of its hallmarks was you can program it to the way you want, whatever what wallpaper you want, and all these things. And it wasn't, to me at least, again I want to illustrate that it wasn't straightforward. Then I got an iPhone. I had an iPhone first, but the iPhone, to me, it was out the box, straightforward. Whatever apps you want to put in there, you can. Other than that, to me, like I said, it was straightforward. Now I'm seeing Google, even though Google has that, or Android, it's the programmability, if that's even a word, is even though that's wide, it offers more real life functionality compared to Apple.
Apple is a very closed system, and it's designed like that from the bottom up to be that way. Google system is very granular in the way that you can modify programs, you can sideload apps to the phone. Um, you can customize the layout the way you want it to be. It's very granular in that sense that the user is in control of the device rather than the on the iPhone. The reason why it's so simple because somebody pre configured the device for you, and that's the way you're going to use it, the way they tell you to use it.
Yeah, yeah. Now that you put it that way, it just, I can say, yeah, you're right, because like I said, I don't. In the beginning, I didn't want to be playing on my phone in that way. I like this, or I like that. It, to me, it wasted too much time. I still don't like right now. My screen saver is black. My background is black. It's not. I don't have too many apps. I just want what I use, and that's it. But like I said, I'm saying with Google, you at least have that option, should you choose it or not,
Mm-hmm.
to, hey, I need a personal assistant. Okay, this is going well. That now with Google, that, like I said, yeah, you're right. It can be with this IO, they could have, they can make anything in a demo. I understand it, but if it's like it is, if it's, I say 50% to like they demonstrated in the IO, I believe this is groundbreaking.
It is groundbreaking. Feature wise, it is groundbreaking. But the thing about Google is that they're an ongoing project, right? Everything's always moving, whether it's uh, Lollipop, um, Marshmallow, Nougat, Oreo, and now the new upcoming P version, which is in beta right now. Um, it's always a work in progress, basically.
Mm-hmm. That's, I saw the video more than once, and
Mm-hmm.
I when I saw the video, then I heard the article. I looked at my phone. I said, "Hey Siri." I said, I asked Siri a question, and the only thing Siri can do was guide me to some websites that it thinks it's can help me out. And I'm imagining with this, like they said, you don't have to say, "Hey Google," to have a follow up question. You can almost have somewhat of a conversation with this Google Assistant. And a lot of people are going to point out to that movie, Her, with Joaquin Phoenix, how the ethics of this, what are the ethics of this, how people may get attached to this. A lot of people are already introverts. How more of an introvert will this make people in the future? And those are just some of the questions.
It's hard to say. So the difference between Siri and Google's new platform is that Siri is machine learning based and Google's platform is AI based. So that's why you can have a conversation, right? The conversation comes from the artificial intelligence, whereas Siri is this I listen as a hardware piece, as an assistant, and then I give you feedback based on the best interpretation that I can give.
Okay, gotcha. And so Google is more pure. Well, I don't want to say pure. It is like you said, it's more geared toward AI. Now, with
It
this,
is AI.
well, it is AI. Apologize. It is Google is AI. This AI, oh my goodness, this I've been having talks with people, just people I talk to, friends,
Mm-hmm.
and I've been saying, hey, in the future, this stuff is coming down the pipeline. It's going to be sooner than you think. A lot of these jobs, even though there are going to be other jobs going to be created, but a lot of these jobs, a lot of these menial, easy to get jobs like cashier or what's the other one, call center.
Mm-hmm.
Those are not going to be easy to get in the future. And I can tell when I talk to some people that it goes straight over their head. I can tell when I talk to some people that it seems like I'm talking 2190, the future, as if it will never happen in their lifetime. And I have to realize, hey, I I'm actually talking to people about this. I'm actually looking at video about this. I actually have some type of uh insight, some type of, even if it's small, some type of insight into what's going on. But how much would people be caught off guard with this?
They're already caught off guard, right? So if you go back, maybe about 5 or 6 years ago, maybe even more longer than that, when people used to call for Dell support, they used to get, an Indian voice, and then slowly after that, they started running into, um, a robot, right? A robot would say, "How can I help you? With your
Mhm.
system? Could you repeat that again?" It didn't really interpret, uh, the caller or the customer's, uh, 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 I guess, language, the linguistics aspect of it, because it was a lot of bugs inside those type of systems back then. So people's frustration would come out and be like, "Oh, I'll just hang up the phone, or I'll just push star or pound and get, an actual human on the phone." But
Yeah.
now that you have this AI, and this AI is having a complete conversation with you, it almost goes over your head that you're actually communicating with a non-human.
And that's the amazing part because you you can't tell. It's going to get to a point where you can't tell. Um, like I said, these call centers. I think someone mentioned billing. All these jobs where it requires humans to be on the phone are going to be not available to humans. I'm sure, I'm quite sure, a lot of people are listening to this. They've talked to even Americans
Mhm.
on when they call some call center, no matter what, even Americans, and they would get attitudes, uh, short, in a short tempered. If their day not going well, they take it out on the person that's calling, just even for a simple question. Now,
Yeah, rage.
huh?
No, I was just gonna say Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah. Now with this coming in, it can it can be a more simpler and softer process. Hello, may I help you? Oh yeah, can I do this? Well, can you do this? Yeah, sure. It's your day's not going well. You call here now, you feel better instead of calling in and getting a belligerent. person on the other end of the line because you want to ask a question or you got a simple, quick question. Oh my goodness. Bring back memories.
Oh, well, if the rumors are correct that they're working on getting Tiffany Haddish voice on there, she may end up cussing you out.
Oh my God. You know what? if I call somebody and they got her voice on there, I'm gonna have to turn down the volume of the phone because she's so loud. She like her normal everyday voice is so loud. It's like, man, what you like what you shut up. I can't even hear myself talk. That's
right.
and that can be something. Now, okay, oh my goodness. Oh my god, I just thought about something now that you said that. They can not hire, they can pay celebrities to have their voice as the voice of the AI.
That's what they've been doing.
Really?
Yeah, that's how they have a half a dozen voices already. John Legend, a couple other guys that's on there, couple other women. I think like Amy Schumer or something like that. I forget who else is on there, but they're gonna add more voices, right? And you have to be like a character. You have to have a very likable character in order to use your voice, right? So somebody like Cardi B could potentially be used, just as as a alternative to a different platform.
Mm. Oh my goodness, that's amazing.
Think about Tupac, right? Somebody could
Ooh,
write Tupac's lyrics, right, and use his voice on that platform. And from an artificial intelligence standpoint, who knows where that can go?
that's a good one. That and like we said, new jobs can open up. People trying out to be a voice on one of these people platforms because there's more than one company who I think on the keynote he said there are companies that doesn't have a like a call component to their business. They can open up the doors to that. Now people can go. I'm skipping words here. Can go qualify to be. Hey, I want to be the voice of your company. Take a look at my voice. That can be some type of job for people, but again, that's just not gonna be enough for the many jobs are gonna be out of business. Um, I know you sent an email about the robot that can backflip.
Boston Dynamics.
I saw that video. It looks weird. I'll just put it out there. It looks because people not used to that. It looks as if it's a little creepy, but still, the type of technology they put into it just to make that happen, just to get just that first step is it lets you know, hey, after a while, this stuff is going to be coming back to back to back to back. The breakthroughs that is are going to be coming back to back to back. That and you said that was in Boston.
Boston Dynamics is the company.
Hmm. Yeah.
That's just what you're seeing right now, right? So
Yeah.
who knows when they recorded that video? However, the objective is to put robots in the battlefield. So you give that robot some armor and an M4 rifle.
Then they can replace potentially humans in the Marines and the Army.
Well, you just have advisors in the battlefield, and you just they'll just guide the robots, right, with the VR headsets.
That's a good one. That's a good one. So it'll almost be a situation where you'll have a um a satellite facility where you'll still have soldiers, but they'll never see the battlefield. And like I said, they'll put on the VR headset, and they could be the android will be the eyes. Well, the android will be the physical part of them. Is that what you're hitting at?
Well, with artificial intelligence, you wouldn't need that.
Mm.
You would just give the robot an assignment, and the robot would go complete the assignment. Just like if you talk to Google's I/O, the technology they use is actually called TensorFlow. So it's an open source product that you can download for yourself and start customizing it. But you can actually give out instructions and give it grid coordinations, and it go out and go and do the job if it can. Now you pair that in combination with that MIT off-road capability vehicle that we were talking about last week.
Mm-hmm.
You got a game-changing environment now.
And I don't mean to make the future look bleak in terms of jobs for people, because they're already calling millennials the screwed generation. Like how we are just got a bad hand in terms of, okay, we tell us to go to school, we did that, but then the times we were going to school, that's when the price of school just went out of control. Then we're facing potentially two, really, 2 to 3 economic not crashes, I won't say crashes, but economic corrections in our lifetime, in our prime. Now you got this. We may not be able to get as the type of jobs that you can just go out. Okay, I need a job, or I'll just work here for a little while until I find a better job. That scenario may not be able to happen. It's like you said before. No, going to coding. Coding is gonna be big in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness.
Well,
Go ahead.
Coding will be big. Data science will be the bigger aspect of it.
Now, what is data science?
So data science is basically the curation of data for research and development, mining purposes. You know, your Cambridge Analytica was a data science company. That's what they did. They mined people's data that came out of Facebook illegally, and they use that data to generate advertisements and profit, voting, everything that encompasses breaking things down to the granular level of research and development that came out of Cambridge Analytica. So they're a data science corporation. That's what they do.
And you said data science will be the bigger part of the coding aspect.
It is currently right now. It's a gold mine right now. If you're a data scientist, you got to have a long career at this point, much longer than your desktop support people and things of that nature. Their stuff is really a dime a dozen, but data scientists are hard to come by because there's so many aspects to learning data and algorithms and curation of data and things of that nature. So I work in security, so there's a trifecta that goes into the market right now. So you have cloud, which comprises of infrastructure, security, data science is the third leg.
Security, data science, and what was the third one again?
Infrastructure.
Infrastructure. And infrastructure is basically the physical brick and mortar. Or am I guessing it wrong?
It, they're the guys who they're the guys like AWS, which is
Oh, okay.
Amazon Web Services. That, that's infrastructure.
Okay. So the AWS, the vulture.com, the places that hold where you can get a virtual server.
It has more to do with the infrastructure itself. So the cloud aspect of how you get your data up from your endpoint up to the place that it needs to be hosted.
Okay.
So, say for example, Gmail is a software as a service. That's a component of cloud, right? It's a component. There's a service aspect to it.
Gmail. Okay. It's a server. Okay. I think I'm understanding. I think
You.
because I'm trying to learn myself also.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now and these, as you say, trifectas will be part of the larger, more profitable landscape in the future.
It is. It's the only market that matters right now.
Oh man. So the cashier and you know it's sad. It's
Mm-hmm.
sad because a lot of times they are in positions because the community didn't excuse me the community didn't teach well or put them in a position to have a better life in the future. But you know, the cashiers, I'm not saying we'll be a completely cashierless future in the next 2 to 5 years, but it will be significant less cashiers. It'll be significant less call centers, significant less just jobs that has to do with that AI can readily take over. And Uber, Lyft, just even we talk about the regular yellow cab taxi cab drivers, they're they don't know what to do because Uber took over. Uber and Lyft took over. Now Uber and Lyft will be taken over by driverless vehicles. You know, the trucking industry, the whole transportation industry will be affected by this. And like I say,
In about 10 years, yeah.
in about 10, oh my God. And we all know somebody, plenty of people in these fields. That's the thing. And you try to tell them, like, hey, you can try to tell them, and you can give them the information from credible sources that say put exactly what you said. You could tell them, hey, this is where I got my information from. You may want to take a look at this because your future in this field is going to be affected. And you can give
Mm-hmm.
them all the carrots, all the gold nuggets to prepare themselves, to put themselves in a better position to excuse me, to not be affected by this, or at the very least to be affected limit limitedly by this. But a lot of times, majority of those people won't even do it.
Well, part of it is it's just literacy.
Oh,
Um,
man.
if you don't have that literacy, then when somebody asks you to read a book, you're gonna be like, "Nah, I ain't got my contacts in today." You're gonna make up an excuse that you can't to justify not actually participating.
It because I have family members in the trucking industry. I have family members in the call center industry, and I don't want to. It's sad to say this. I I I'll still tell them. I'm not going to be that person where I have this information. I'm not going to tell you because of this. I'll still tell them, but I know one of the outcomes can very well be, okay, you handle it for me. You uh uh do whatever needs to be done to help me out. No. You understand what I'm saying? No, I'm not gonna do that. Now I'm giving you the information. Hey, we can even go over and talk about what can be done to put you in a better situation to not be affected by this. You know, be proactive. Yeah, hey, I'm with it. If I see that you're proactive, yeah, we can talk.
Mm-hmm.
But when you say, okay, I have to take care of your life, no. And that's the sad part about it. Well, people want other people to take care of their lives. And I know that's embedded so deep. It's ingrained so deep into people that they just either they just can't think of another way it could be done, or it's so in them that it's hard for them to think another way.
Well, you run into something that's been long talked about, but they call it the digital divide,
Mm-hmm.
where you have a society that is really still stuck on analog. Um, they haven't really made the transition yet.
It's hard. Is that me or you? Oh,
That's
we got
bamboozle.
another one. What's up, Quad Four? How you doing, man? I think he's still getting organized. I think he putting on his headphones. Hello, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can.
How you doing? How you doing today?
I'm good. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm good.
Just
I'm glad you read the email.
yeah, I saw it and I wanted to yeah, I'm sort of logged in on my yeah, I saw it and I said, "Man, let me get on here
It
and
was just
we
just to keep you, well, not keep, just to let you know what this channel is about. On BGS Hangouts, we always, on the first 3 hours, we would normally talk about automation and geopolitics and economics.
right, right.
Sometimes those conversations don't go as serious as they need to, and
Mhm.
sometimes they get, hijacked. So we just
Yeah.
made we came up with the idea of just taking those three topics and talking about them 3 days a week for 2 hours on each hangout. So
Mhm.
Mondays is automation slash AI, Wednesdays
Mhm.
is geopolitics, and Friday is economics. And we strictly talk about those three topics for 2 hours.
Okay. Got it.
Yeah,
Got
and
it.
and today we're talking about, obviously, automation and AI. The big thing that came out recently, Google's Duplex, AI Duplex. I
Mhm.
sent the video in an article
I
in the email.
I saw that. It was
Yeah, yeah,
nothing short of breathtaking,
yeah,
breathtakingly human this machine was.
yeah. And that's what I've been saying now. Obviously, Mike said, obviously Google could have picked the best out of the bunch.
Right.
Obviously they can make the demo go as planned, and
Mhm.
they can do whatever they want, but
Mhm.
still it was still impressive.
Mhm. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it
and
was.
now and now we're saying with this technology and the level it is now, and the level it's going to be within the next between now and 5 years, between now 5 years from now and 10 years from now, the amount of people that will be out of jobs.
Mhm.
We're talking about the trucking industry, the transportation industry, call centers,
Mhm.
billing, cashiers. those type of jobs.
Well, you may not believe this, but yeah, I know. I did a video. It's funny. I wanted to come on here tonight, and I'd almost forgotten, but I saw the link, and for some reason, it would only let me. Well, anyway, it would only let me log into two of my YouTube channels. I don't know why it wouldn't let me log into the other, but it's neither here nor there. But I put a video on my Quad B channel where a guy, I went to a speech where a guy said, "Oh, don't worry about AI," and I'm going, "Okay, I want to hear this." So I'm just the messenger. Check it out. That's all I'm
Mm.
gonna say. Yeah, his
What?
thing is productivity growth, not we're not going to have all these jobs, taken over by robots. Okay, okay. Excuse me, sorry. Go ahead.
Mm.
Yeah, it was place I work at. The guy, some technology think tank, spoke
Mm.
about AI, and I kept my eye on that event, and then I went and I finally was able to create a video. It just takes so damn long to do those things, especially for me. But yeah, check it out when you have a chance.
Okay, we'll do. I'll look at and
Hmm.
I'll go to your channel and look at it and
Hmm.
leave a link in the description. But
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah. No, go ahead. You go ahead. So
Okay.
yeah, that Google thing, obviously, they probably did cherry pick the best examples or tries out of like several thousand calls. I can imagine what that thing must have sounded like when they first started. People on the other end going, "Huh?
Yeah.
What, you are you like retarded or something?"
But
No, no,
but
no.
the end
That's,
point is that they are actively going and per, perfecting this. They're
hmm
are actively doing it. Now
I know. Hmm.
it's to this point, and we see how it is now. What's it going to be between now and 5 years from now? What industries is that going to bleed over into? Who's going to have the bright idea to say, or the bright idea of thinking, okay, it could be used for this, and no one thinks about it. No one thinks about,
Hmm.
yeah, you can use this for that, and they do it. It happens, and that industry blows up, and the adverse effect of jobs being lost. You understand what I'm saying?
Hmm. Yeah, I know. I understand. The question is, what are we going to use? How are Americans, or how are humans going to support themselves economically with no work? It with machines doing the work. We,
I don't
it's
know.
going to be rough on the humans that are alive now, but I think the humans that are coming, that are still to come, will be fewer. I think that will be the case unless something happens 50 or 100 years from now that we don't see happening. But I would think that you're going to see a lot fewer humans on the planet if um, this whole AI thing gets going. Um,
Hmm.
oh, people still have sex. They'll just figure out a way to really perfect the contraceptive piece of it. You
Mm.
know, that's just me. I'm talking off the top of my head. It could all be bull crap for all I know, but I'm just saying. I'm just going what I know. One time, horses. There were millions of horses in New York City doing every conceivable job. Pulling pulling fire trucks. They were pulling buses. People were riding them, and there was horse shit all over. I mean, there were people specifically. Were they hired to? I
To
think
clean
that
up after
there
the
was horse
horses.
shit. There was basically horse shit. There were, New York, for example, was like maybe ankle deep in horse shit.
Hmm.
And guess what? Then came the car, then came the truck, and then came, then came the internal. I'm sorry, the internal combustion engine, and you've got fewer horses in the world, but those horses, most of these horses, lead a charmed life. You know,
Mm-hmm.
somebody said Twitter once. Somebody said that at one time the rich, the rich. Oh God, how did they? I forgot how it went, but it was sort of like the poor. At one time, poor people had all the horses. Now today, rich people have the horses.
Mm.
Yeah,
It's
and they
gonna
think.
it'll
And
be
I'm sorry. It's the. Go ahead.
it'll be interesting to see, what the future, what the landscape of the future will be.
Hmm.
It'll be very interesting. You
Well, see,
know,
you got to go to the past to figure that out. Like I said, it's gonna if we're gonna take every single menial, I shouldn't say menial, but any job that can be done with the computer talking like a human, then if that's the case, then the only thing is those robots, are those robots going to be paid? And I think it's only going to go so far, and I can see some kind of legislation or regulation to. I could see that happening to curb it, because you don't want the entire population of the country out of work.
well, right now the
Because
truck
then the
drivers are
economy.
being proactive right now.
How
They're they're
so?
they from what I hear, they see what's coming down the line, and they're trying to save a lot of their jobs.
Well, the other thing too is, do you think people for now are going to trust? Maybe in a generation or two, but you really think people now are going to trust driverless vehicles, or a
Not
vehicle
now.
with a vehicle that might drive itself, but there's going to be a human inside to override just in case something goes wrong.
Well, they
How
already have that.
What's that? Who's that?
that's Mike.
Oh, Mike. Hey,
Here's
they
what's
already
going on, brother.
have that. What's going on?
So if you
They
go to
already.
Atlanta, if you go to Atlanta, even this morning, China is testing out a autonomous bus system right now.
Yeah, I seen the green one. I seen it. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, and in Atlanta, the Japanese were the ones who designed the autonomous train system for Atlanta's airport.
Mhm. But I'm saying, don't there still have to be somebody in there? There has to be a human monitoring all this.
No,
Ooh, okay.
Which
That's
means a
going to
lot
take
less
a
jobs.
major leap of faith, huh?
Which means a lot less jobs.
Yeah, and you're talking about a major leap of faith too, to get the public a pump. Well, I don't know. They don't have to go
Right
and
now they're
trade
already
here.
talking about Generation Z and the generation after that, which is Alpha. They're
Mhm.
much of those two generations when they grow up and get of age, they're the the drive to get their driver's license is not going to be as great as past
Mhm.
as past generation.
Right.
When we were young, getting our driver's license was a rite of passage.
Mhm.
It was it,
Wasn't
it,
it?
it, it was a ticket to freedom. Now,
Mhm.
well, at that point, when they get of age, it's not going to be the same because the amount of driverless vehicles that are going to be out on the road, it it it'll be like, well, why should I get my driver's license? What's the purpose when I can still get to the same destination in a car as if the same way?
Mhm. But I don't know. There's going to be some kind of regulation, some either a limit to it, or I don't know. politically somebody is going to make that happen
They're going to try.
because
They're
technology can only do so much. Go ahead. Yeah.
obviously they're going to try. From what I
Mhm.
from what I can remember, the story. One of the stories I heard was when in London, when the horse and carriage, well, big I'm gonna say big horse and carriage. When the car came along, they
Mhm.
did the same thing, try to slow down the onset of this new technology, and it got to the point where they proposed a bill to have a person walking in front of each vehicle with a flag to let people know, hey, a car is coming, a car is coming. Because at that time, people were getting hit by cars and being injured and being killed because people
Mhm.
weren't used to, the cars on the road, people cross the street any which way. So they even proposed that. So they tried to stop the onslaught of this new technology. They tried to slow it down, but as newer generations came and got of age,
Mhm.
they liked the new technology. They adopted the new
Mhm.
technology, and what next
Mhm.
thing you know, big horse and carriage is no longer big horse and carriage.
Mhm.
So
Yep.
obviously they're going to try to slow down this new technology with everything.
So,
With everything you're saying, what? Oh, the people being hesitant to take this. Yeah, it's going to happen. But as newer generations come of age, they're going to be more fearless.
well, yeah. Well, then again, well, like I said, we're yeah, you're right. They probably will be, and I don't know what else to say. They
It's something that
probably will be.
it's something.
Mhm. But yeah, well, like I said, those of us who are alive, I don't know. I guess does every person who lives long enough see some kind of weird, some kind of major upheaval in their lifetimes, or you know, because this seems to be it. This whole
Hmm.
AI, and I wish more of our people would pay attention to this kind of stuff. But
Well, just in case someone listens to it in the future, we're going over things that are big now and things are going to
mhm,
which industries that is sections of industry, even niches that are going to be big in the future to help
mhm,
guide those that even listen to this program in the future. Okay, I
mhm,
did want to go to school for art or for historical art history, but I mean that's not going to pay now, and it's obviously not going to pay in the future. So let
mhm,
me change my degree to something that I can actually use, something that actually put food on the table and give me a
mhm,
decent life.
mhm. Well, here's the other thing. Why should we even have jobs? Why do we even need jobs? That's going to be the other question. Do
Explain that.
we Will we even need jobs? What again? The guy who's in my video, he even said that UBI was a bad idea. I'm like, oh, I can't wait to hear this too. So, basically saying that it's better just to retrain people,
But then
but
you have to
at the
worry about if people want to be retrained.
right, there you go. And if they don't want to be retrained, oh well,
You can't force them.
can't force them. That's right. And if they get hungry, they'll get. If they get hungry enough, hopefully they won't. They won't. What they'll probably do is rob something and then end up in jail, and they can live off of end up in prison. And that's a whole nother conversation. Do you think we end if if you were really desperate for work or food, would you commit a crime just knowing you'll get 3 hots in a cot in prison?
Well, people do that now in
Yeah,
Chicago.
that's what
Well,
I mean.
at least I know in
Mhm.
Chicago they do. If they do in Chicago, I'm pretty sure they do in the other cities.
Mhm.
3 hots in a cot, depending on the crime. If the crime's not too
Mhm.
bad, well, it'll weigh down your record and prevent you from getting better jobs in the future. But at that moment, okay, I'll do this and get 3 hots in a cot for the weekend or for a week.
Mhm.
People do that now.
Or or for several years.
Oh, I don't know
But
about several years.
okay.
That's too much.
hmm But here's the thing, though. Again, God, I can't even think of what like I said, the UBI, that Universal Basic Income. Someone's going to try it. Now, will it work? I don't know.
Oh, it's
I
being
don't.
tried right now out
hmm
west. I believe it's
hmm
Sacramento. I think. Hey, Mike, do you know what other cities being tried in?
They're using it in Europe. There's Chicago, Boston, New York. Um, it's in I
What
think
are
the
the
UK.
What are the criteria for
Uh,
getting a UBI?
it's in pilot phase right now, so it's just a matter of giving somebody a set allocation of money to see how they spend it
hmm
to determine what the outcome would be.
A a quiet. You got a echo on your phone.
You know what? That's
Yeah.
because I'm using my phone. Hold on, and I have a Bluetooth, and then I've got a fan going in the back
Okay.
because got a air conditioning
It's a little hot
air
there.
conditioning unit was leaking onto carpeting. So we got a fan going. If that's what you hear, well, let me
Okay.
mute up.
All right.
But hold on, how do I do this?
I can do it from. Let me try to do it from my
Yeah,
end.
yeah. Can you hear me?
Wait, I'm still trying to. Hmm. Okay. Don't wanna.
Okay, I'm looking for the. I'm
I don't know why I don't want to mute.
okay. You know what? I don't know. How long have you guys been? Well, let me ask you this real quick. How long have you guys been on here on this hangout?
For today, it's been about an hour.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, something wrong
okay.
with my end. Don't want to mute. But
Well,
yeah.
here's the thing. I'm gonna. Well, what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna jump off of here, if you don't mind. I just wanted to make an appearance. you know,
Oh well, yeah, yeah. You always welcome.
yeah, yeah. Thank you, and yeah, I'll do this. I prefer to do this from my computer. I just didn't feel like it's shut down. I just didn't feel like going back there and waiting 20 minutes for it to fire up. And, these Dell.
Okay.
And
Yeah, like I said,
yeah.
Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Wednesdays
Okay.
geopolitics. We have good geopolitics talk, and Fridays economics. We have good economic talks.
And what time? And what times are those? And they're
Normally it's Wednesday. I'm gonna make Wednesdays and Fridays 8 o'clock Central Time. Mondays 8:30 Central Time.
Central Time. Now, where are you located?
Me,
Yeah.
I'm in Chicago.
Oh, right, Central. Okay. There's a whole bunch of y'all in Chicago, isn't there?
Yeah, it is. It is. It is.
Yeah, a whole bunch of y'all. There are a few of us here in the East, but now it seems like more y'all in the Midwest.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway, I'm gonna let you go. But thanks very much for having me, Mike. You take care. Okay.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
Okay, you too. All right. Well, no, you take care of yourself, and we'll do this. We'll do this again. Hopefully, hopefully Wednesday. Can't promise, but hopefully Wednesday.
All right then.
All right. All right. Well, you
All right.
take care. We'll talk again.
All
See
right.
you.
You have a good one.
Okay. You too. Bye bye.
All right.
How do I? How do I get?
Hey, Mike. What else is going on in like I said, I'm not too up on current affairs when it comes to automation and AI. What else is going on in this sector of business?
Um, I think we already covered, most of the artificial intelligence aspect, but from a technology aspect, you're starting to see a lot of development around autonomous vehicles.
Okay, just um regular everyday driving, autonomous vehicles, or specialty
More,
autonomous.
more, more specialty, right? More service based. Um, yeah, like I said, China is testing, doing a pilot run of their mini buses. So if that's all, and I'm pretty sure based on some of the comments that I've been reading about it, it's just about ready. It's it's more about the infrastructure aspect of it. So I mean, as long as you can get the potholes out of the way in the streets, I mean, most of
Mm.
these autonomous vehicles will ride pretty well.
And it had okay. I saw the video. It's where it looks like an electric streetcar, but it's not, and it's going to pick up people at the same location as if it's an electrical streetcar.
Mhm.
Obviously, it's going to run on a mapping of a pre-map of a pre-routed map. Oh my goodness, that because a lot of America's infrastructure needs to be upgraded. And here in Chicago, the train system is from the early '60s. We haven't even got trains, new trains, and I remember people were talking about getting bullet trains. Well, those bullet looking trains, but now you can just jump that. It's so many American cities that can use this to upgrade their decades long old technology. 'Cause a lot of the technology is 50 plus years old. So
Mhm.
they could this can be the next step. Why upgrade it to something in between when a couple of years later you're going to upgrade it, you're going to have to upgrade it again to this. Why not just upgrade it straight to this? And that's what I think.
It costs money, and most states like Illinois are broke, so they're not going to spend any money on infrastructure because they can't realistically afford it and even justify it to spend it. And unless they start taxing people more, which is pretty hard to do because there's such a high unemployment issue in most of these states. Where are they going to get the tax money from?
And plus, a lot of people are fleeing Illinois.
Right. And the problem with the United States is that it started its industrialization for its rapid transit systems back in the 50s and 60s, and that's not as obviously it can't keep up technology wise in comparison to places like China and Europe, Eastern Europe, because a lot of well, not even Eastern Europe, but most of Southeast Asia has pretty good infrastructure in terms of rapid transit.
On YouTube, I look at some people that travel the world, and some of these countries they go to, they look beautiful. Like that, I know they go to the main square of the city, but still, the transportation they take, a lot of these buses. I saw one bus where it had Wi-Fi, it had all this other stuff. Uh, and the city they were in, I forgot the city they were in, but the city they were in, the infrastructure looks like that's where America should be. That's where uh, that's the next step.
You would be there if politicians didn't take the money and run and spend it on military.
Yeah, we got a big military buddy, but whew, that's Wednesday. Um, so now we're seeing a ramp. So you're saying we're seeing a ramp up in automated vehicles.
Absolutely. So you're starting to see more. Um, I think China. I think I posted the video before, but China had basically automated their loading dock vehicles. So basically, those shipping containers that come off the ships are dropped down onto like a back of a truck. But China has figured out how to autonomize these vehicles where they have no driver and they're pre-mapped out for where they need to go based on the storage shipping container that they receive,
Oh, really?
and they
That's
load them
amazing.
onto another vehicle.
And I'm pretty sure
So
we can
they don't
connect
need
it.
brakes.
They don't need
Well,
what?
they don't. Let me just say this: they don't need brakes, right? So usually you have a union brake for a driver. Well, there is no driver, right? So they don't really take union brakes at all, unless they need to just refill the fuel for the autonomous vehicle that's working loading dock.
Okay, I see what you're saying. So they can work all night, all through holidays without paying. I don't know if China has what's the what's the call where they protect you for not losing your job?
A union.
Yeah, union. I don't know if China has unions, but the potential of unions going out of business, really. I mean,
Not necessarily. Not
really?
necessarily. You're always going to need you're always going to need physical labor somewhere, whether it's somebody taking a package off a truck like UPS or something to that effect. That's another, bringing up UPS. I just saw that they launched their fleet of vehicles. They're testing their fleet of vehicles
Oh my God,
right now that are
man!
electric
Everybody,
based and autonomous based.
everybody. Cause I used to work at UPS. I was a truck loader,
Mm-hmm.
and I can imagine how easy that can be automated. Because that was a job you
It's already.
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say it's already been done. Just saw the news the other day.
Truck loading.
No, the actual vehicle itself is
Okay,
pretty
okay.
autonomous. It's pretty much autonomous. I think it's like level 4 or something to that effect. But even car washes now too. My car wash doesn't have anybody there to drive my car. If it has a vac, has a blower vac that basically drives my car for me when I come out.
Oh my God, people are gonna be out of luck. Uh, I, I I don't know, man. I I don't know. I don't know the answers.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the answers to this. This this is a pickle. This is a big one. Like what what can you turn? What what can you do? I mean, there obviously there's gonna be a lot of things to do, but surveying the future landscape now and trying to figure out well what jobs are going to be available. I'm not a futurist. I'm not an expert in in those type of fields. And
Mm-hmm.
my best thing, if you listen to this within the next couple months or even weeks, I would say just go to those videos, people that talk about the future, those professionals, not just a random YouTube, but professionals that talk that are futurists. And what kind of we already talked about. You already said a few things there that are going to be they're all big now, and they could be part of the future. But right now, I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be hard.
Well, it depends on what city you're in too. I think a lot of rural areas like Kentucky and Tennessee, those places, I don't think they're going to go fully autonomous and suffer the wrath of AI as soon as places like New York, Chicago, and LA, high traffic, high volume, highly populated metropolitan areas. That's where you're going to start to see a lot of the transformation take place.
Mm-hmm.
I dropped a link in the
Yeah, I saw
in the
it.
chat.
I'm gonna now let me throw this curveball at you. Oh wow. Okay, let me throw this curveball at you. Let's say what you say is true, and obviously they don't have the 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 quick capability to do that. Will people flock to those places?
Which places? The
The
rural
Kentucky,
places, or
the rural, the West Virginias, the Kentucky, Tennessees. If they see, okay, man, I can't get a job in a big city, let me go to these rural places to get a job.
they'll go to a rural place and get some cheap property. But where are you going to work? Walmart will be closed down at some point because they don't really need to have a store open. They'll just do same day shipping of a warehouse.
From the drones, right?
No, not from the drones. Just from your basic delivery vehicles.
Let me read this. This is oh man, let me read this. Hold on here. Boom. All right, UPS has new excuse me. UPS has new electric trucks that look straight out of a Pixar movie. They do. The company partnered with Arrival to design the delivery vehicles. They do look like a Pixar. All right. UPS, let me show the picture. UPS has revealed slick new electric trucks that look like they've rolled straight out of Pixar's Car series. The company revealed it's working with vehicle manufacturer Arrival on a pilot fleet of 35 lightweight electric trucks that look far more futuristic than the standard boxy vehicles. UPS says the trucks have a longer range than other delivery vehicles, reaching around 150 miles on a single charge. Wow. As with all electric vehicles, they have zero emissions. Okay, so greener. The trucks, which UPS will test in Paris and London, have what the company describes as a highly advanced vehicle display, along with additional safety features. Those include a wraparound windshield that give the driver a window field of view, or see, a wider field of view, handy to spot any cyclist zipping by, and advanced driver assistance vehicles systems, which aims to lower driver fatigue. UPS and Arrival have worked together on electric trucks since 2016, and this initial fleet should be on the roads before the end of the year. It's coming fast, man. These trucks will add to UPS's armada of more than 300 electric vehicles and almost 700 hybrid vehicles across the US and Europe. The company has invested 750 million into alternative fuel and advanced technology vehicles since 2009. In February, UPS said it is adding 50 electric trucks it co-designed with Workhorse Group Incorporation to its U.S. fleet for around the same cost as unconventional fuel trucks. It has also ordered 125 of Tesla's semi-trucks. By the end of the year, oh man! So these are driverless vehicles or hybrids.
Driver assisted.
Driver
So
assistance.
you basically don't have to parallel park it or anything like that. It'll do it on its own.
Goodness gracious!
And
And
it's only a matter of time before the next uh, the next phase of it, the next iteration of it will be completely level 5 autonomous.
that with its first phase, it means that less people will be hired because they're not going to need more drivers because they have this. Then, like you said, the next phase is just they're going to phase out a lot of the drivers that they held onto.
I don't know how they're structured. I know either FedEx or UPS. One of them is union, so I don't know if you can just get rid of people that easily. But
Okay.
it sounds to me like they would probably shift over some of their operators to other other opportunities that they're gonna have going forward, like maybe smaller vehicles where uh in the city, like I know they have like compact vans where some cities you can't really park a big 18 wheeler or even the big box bread trucks that they do have. They'll probably just scale down to something more efficient.
Now I wonder, people that own their own tractor trailers that work for themselves, if they can purchase assisted, driver assisted, and electric vehicle in the future, and have a fleet of their own.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that's possible, because if these companies just have their own fleet, then they're monopolizing.
Oh, which company are you talking about? Like the
Like the
private contractor,
Amazons,
or
the UPS, the FedEx.
they co-design that stuff though, so they choose who they want to work with,
Okay.
right?
Now,
Volvo, Man, VW. So
the truck drivers of today, they're hired through companies, but the ones that own their own truck, I wonder if they can continue to have their own fleet. You understand what I'm saying?
oh yeah.
Now that right there is good.
Mm-hmm.
You purchase your own stuff, set your own self up, and you rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, basically, you rolling. You know,
Right.
I like that.
Yeah, no pun intended. Yeah, I think we're at this point. I mean, based on that article, by the end of the year, and when a company that's that big like UPS and FedEx, DHL, all these other companies, Penske, they drive the market. So they're the ones who buy the actual technology. They're the ones driving the technology, driving the market, because they're making these big purchases. 35 electric trucks here, 120 from this this company there. They're the ones who are the ones driving the market to make it cheaper for everybody else later on. So if you did have your own private shipping company, and you were looking to get into this this part of the industry, and you were kind of put off by the price of an electric truck or a hybrid truck or something to that effect, now you know why it gets cheaper. Companies like UPS are the ones buying them.
Yeah, like well, like with any new technology, first you had the TVs, the flat screen TV that came out. They were really expensive when they first came out. Now you can get them for less than $100. When desktops first came out, they were expensive. When laptops first came out, expensive. Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with you on that. When they first come out, they're going to be expensive, but a few years down the road, they're going to get cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. Uh, hey man, I gotta say, you taught me a lot on this one.
Well, if you look at the Google I/O video and read the articles, you'll see that Waymo, who is the company that does the autonomous driving for Google, the ones who are driving the technology behind it, they showcased a lot of stuff too, or they showcased something during the Google I/O.
I didn't. I don't think I looked at the entire keynote. I think I just looked at the part where that's circling around the internet of the AI making appointments. So I think I got to go back. So Waymo is doing their thing also.
So Waymo's a part of Google.
Mm-hmm. Waymo. Man, really? That's
Yeah, they was a part of that keynote. They were a part of that keynote.
look up. Wait, mom.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Oh, what's going on? How you doing?
Oh, good, man. Just getting in. You know, I'm on the West Coast, man, so I'm always tardy to the party.
We're talking about the Google AI and things that have to do with automation, the rollout of assistant driver vehicles, how UPS is incorporating them into their fleet. They're going to be rolling them out in Paris and London before the end of the year, and the repercussions that pose to future job industries and things have to do with AI, virtual technology, virtual reality, and automation.
Okay.
It's deep, man.
Yeah, well, you know, it's deep, but you know, I think, but you know, what I'm promoting anyway is that we actively get our hands involved in it, you know, so that we're deploying it for our own businesses.
Have you seen the video of Google's Duplex, AI Duplex?
Yeah, the one that schedules the hair appointment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm not surprised, man. It's, yeah, I mean, I think that's really just more like a refined version of, like, say, like Alexa and all the other stuff that's out there right now. I mean, it's only just going to get more advanced from here.
That's interesting. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, we can, like I said, man, it's just really a matter of if we're going to embrace it or if we're going to be apprehensive to it.
I think people invasion, maybe not this immediate generation, but generations down the line are going to embrace it.
Well, I mean, it's you can see that's evidenced in, like, look at the internet. I mean, you know, a lot of your older boomers and stuff, they're still not tech savvy at all, but their grandchildren are.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
and their grandchildren have to show them how to, like, use an app, how to use Uber and stuff like that. So, I mean, that's a part of it. I mean, that's why it's like none of this is going to like slow down in terms of its acceleration or its rollout, because, you know, this will be normal to the people who are maybe, say, like 13 and younger, right? Okay, when they get up around 30, dude, like, this will be like the norm.
Mm-hmm.
All this stuff will be the norm for them. So, I mean, that's how you look at when industries kind of observe and see, like, when it's time to pivot, when it's best suitable for them to sort of roll out new formats that sort of change the layout. They do it in terms of, like, you know, generations, right? How they're oriented technologically speaking. So, you know,
It's gonna be something, man. It's gonna be something.
yeah.
Yeah, but to be honest, it's not. It's not scary. It's gonna, to me, it's more interesting because I don't know, the interesting part about it to me are the jobs that are going to be created because other jobs are gonna go out, going to be phased out. That's interesting to me. So,
I
I
mean,
just
you
dropped
know,
the link in the
oh,
chat.
all right, check that out. Check that out.
you know, I mean, think back to the 50s, right? There's a lot of jobs that people had in the 50s that they didn't have in the 70s and the 80s, right? And then there was jobs in the 80s and the 90s that don't exist today. And there's jobs today that won't exist in another 10, 15 years. And each time, you know, now there is sort of like a a net loss because you have to account for advances in technology, which makes processes more efficient, which eliminates, you know, human capital, human resources needed to do a job from a corporate standpoint. So, you know, you do have that part of it where every time you have these technological advances, it does sort of create a net loss in terms of employment opportunities, right? And then you have, like, your excess employment base that's basically relegated to like gig economies and stuff like that. But then again, these technologies and the way things are shifting now are going to basically enable people to kind of create things for themselves too. So there's like that plus minus, half empty, half full sort of viewpoint. Uh-oh, did I drop out? Wait, I don't hear anybody. Uh-oh. Oh, okay. Your internet. Yo, Mike, you there? Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on, Dollar Will. I'm not sure what's happened. Yeah, that's apparently the case. I'm not sure what that's about. Yeah, I'm not sure, dude. I don't know what's going on with that.
Looks like he got booted out.
Oh, wait, there's Mike. Okay. Lionel said his internet. So for a while, I was like the only one that anyone could hear. What's good, Mr. Vincent? How you doing, man?
I'm chilling, man. You?
I'm all right, man. It's one of those Monday evenings, man. You come in, you're all burnt. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's only the beginning of the week.
Yeah, that's the crazy part, man. That's the crazy part right there.
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Okay, there's Lionel right there.
I'm using, I guess, the old version of
Chrome.
No, not Chrome, but what's this? Windows Explorer. I don't know. I think I gotta upgrade.
There was a big update that went out for Microsoft over the weekend that you have to update your computer to, or else you're going to be vulnerable. So,
okay, cool. Well, yeah, no, hey, that's all I got, really. I learned a lot. Like, I learned a lot in this one. It's eye opening. It makes you think and wonder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's.
Well, like I said, it's also there to be deployed. It's also there for us to learn and to utilize it. Hey Mike, I've kind of Damiette and I, we had kind of cracked the nugget on the whole arcade city thing, right? And how to utilize guilds, how to use those guilds. So that I think now we can go ahead and just figure something out for Ujima and present it to him. Because if you want, I can give you a call after we're finished and just give you a quick rundown of how the guilds work.
Let's chop up game probably like Wednesday or something like that.
Or yeah, just let me know, or just hit me, and I'll
yep,
we can chop it up.
That's all I got. Anybody else want got anything? Any other inputs?
Mr. Vincent?
No, I think we covered a lot for just Google alone. There's just so much that goes into it. Especially with just the demonstrations that they provide. Mm-hmm. They're probably, from my guesstimation, is that they're probably at least 3 to 5 years ahead of Apple.
Okay. Well, I came in a little late on this discussion. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Lionel.
That was Mike.
No, I
Oh,
was
go
just
ahead, Mike.
I was just going to say that they're also working on their Pixel Watch as well. So with Pixel Watch, you're talking AI on your wrist, not even in the palm of your hand, but on your wrist.
That's interesting.
Okay.
So all the things that you saw, like in Wakanda, with the way how Shuri programmed the beads to answer a phone call when it comes in, that's the stuff that Google's working on right now.
Yep. Look, man, people don't realize that. I mean,